Hey, I think it'd be easier if I just made a video about where I'm at with your car. So here we are. I have the engine suspended on this engine cradle right now. That's that red bar. You see the two chains going down. And I have the transmission suspended by this engine hoist and the chain here. In these cars, what you do is you support the engine and then you drop the transmission from the top out the bottom. Now, we are supposed to take off the subframe, which is this portion down here. And I'm going to show you underneath of it with this flashlight to allow enough room for the transmission to slide out. So we got everything taken off down here on the bottom. All right, and here's the transmission right here. And it's supposed to come out the bottom, but it can't clear the subframe back there. All right, so what I tried to do, because I can't get these subframe, and these are the rusted bolts. This one right here, and the one right over on the other side. Now, before I even took anything else off, I tested to see if I could get this bolt loose. You always test it, and you can see where I've been hitting on it. I cannot break this loose without putting, I've had a 24-inch breaker bar on top of then I put another 24-inch tube on that, so that's nearly 36 inches of pulling force. So I would estimate 400 pounds of torque on that bolt, and it hasn't budged. I've tried impact. If I put any more torque on, I'm afraid I'm going to snap the bolt off, at which point this whole subframe will fall out of the car, and you will not be able to get it back up unless you drill that bolt out. And I will tell you that is an absolute nightmare to do that. I will not do that. These bolts came loose on the upper subframe, so we got those loose. Axles are out. I mean, the transmission is ready to come out. So I tried to sneak it by the subframe because I knew the subframe wasn't going to come loose. So I tried to unbolt it and sneak it out. Couldn't get it out that way. Tried a trick to wedge it out of there. Wouldn't come out. So then I unbolted the passenger side motor mount and shifted the whole engine over about half an inch to try to give me enough room to get the transmission to clear off the flywheel. Because I can't push it far enough over this way because the subframe's blocking it on this side. And that was not successful. So the only option left, and here you go, you can see it's hitting this backside, back there, that corner. You just can't get it past this subframe. And this subframe, which is this portion right here, this whole thing needs to come out the bottom cradle. So I can't sneak it out. So the only other option is, at this point, to bolt the transmission. You can see here, it's all unbolted. It's separated. Everything is ready to go. But now I have to bolt the transmission back up to the engine, disconnect the AC system, disconnect all the coolant lines, disconnect all the harness to the engine, the ECU, and then I'm going to have to drop the engine and the transmission out as one unit through the bottom. And that will clear the subframe once they're bolted together. With the subframe in there, you can't get the transmission and the engine far enough apart to let the transmission slip out. So that's our option, but that is a lot more labor to get this entire engine and transmission out, because I got to disconnect so much more of it. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just need the extra labor. If we don't go any farther from here, I have all this stuff to put back on. And like I said, I'll just charge you for trying it. Obviously, I'm losing money at that point because I got 3 days and almost 16 hours invested in this. So usually these cars go much, much faster, but because everything is so rusty, these axles took me half an hour to get out because they were seized in there. All of this stuff just rusted, and had to take special precaution not to break any of the bolts to get the tie rods out. Everything took 3 times longer. I've wrenched up in the north, so I know how to deal with a lot of this stuff, but down here in the south, I'm just not set up for it. I don't have the equipment here. No one does. So that's where we're at. You know, it's unfortunate, but like I said, I'm gonna have to take the engine out if we need to finish this job, or I'll just bolt it back up together, and you know, we'll just call it quits on this, because if those subframe bolts break, the car is absolutely totaled. There's nothing you can do to get it back together. So, and that's the last thing I want to do. So that's why I wanted to have the conversation. All right, give me a call. Let me know. I should be free up here by about 4 o'clock. I got a couple things I got to handle real quick, but trying for you here, my friend.